If you gave your genetic information to 23andMe and then you thought better of it and you went and deleted it, they didn't delete it. They kept it. It's for sale. And there's a reason I never did this, and it was because of a deep belief I have of, first of all, companies like this, they consider you the product. You are not the customer. You pay them to be a product. See, this is a massive, massive scheme to understand the human genome and DNA in ways that are remarkably powerful and remarkably scary, and it's not new. Back in the day, I did a consulting project for a Utah-based company that had the biggest database of human DNA at that point. And I won't say who because it was a private contract, but when I went back and met with them and what they had, some of the business models we came up with were pretty fascinating. Among them was the development of custom drugs. You've probably heard of biospecific testosterone, biospecific testosterone replacement. So this is testosterone indistinguishable from your own. So if you had enough money to do this, you could dope yourself with a bunch of testosterone and not get caught if you were P-tested as an athlete. There's capabilities to do this with I guess it's called bioidentical testosterone, bioidentical HGH, custom drugs, custom supplements, custom steroids. So we talked about this, and that company sort of said, you know what, that's morally something we can't do. Praise God. Back in the day, it wasn't something to which I was morally opposed because I worked in tech. And what could be done should be done if you could make money at it and you're not, quote, harming anybody, if people were choosing it. So I've had this theory for a long time of why I don't submit my DNA to companies like 23andMe, and that's after I came to Jesus and after I looked at the tech industry through the eyes of a Christian, and through the eyes of a Christian comparing what we know about human nature, and particularly the nature of people who end up leading organizations. So I stopped from the temptation. I was very curious to see what it would say. I didn't do it. And a lot of people didn't do it. And I just thank God for the wisdom. So I'll show you this video in a second, the CEO of 23andMe, and what we've discovered about this effort that you made to delete your genetic information from them. And then I'll share with you why I don't do this, because it has to do with my knowledge of the technology industry and what's possible within it. And look, tech has done some incredible things. For instance, you, through technology, have the ability to change Hollywood. I'm baffled. I'm utterly baffled. Some of the notes I've gotten from people as I've talked about this opportunity through Angel Studios. See, they're giving us, when we become an Angel Studio Premium Guild member, they're giving us the keys to their production facilities. We greenlight the stories they tell and distribute with a thumbs up or thumbs down vote. And I am baffled when I hear people saying, I don't care about Hollywood. I'm not going to do that. I don't. Then you don't care about culture. You have a film company that's incredibly successful based upon The Sound of Freedom and the other movies they've bravely made. They just had The King of Kings go and just absolutely dominate the theaters for animated stories. And this is about Jesus Christ. And it's a great, great animated story to show kids the life of Jesus Christ. They've got a new movie that now people are telling me about, The Last Rodeo. I'm on an airplane talking to a random stranger. He said, hey, have you ever heard of Angel Studios? I said, sure, yeah, they're great. They just have this new movie out called The Last Rodeo. I got to check that out. I'm an Angel Premium Guild member. He said, what's that? So here's the deal. We have to march through the door of Hollywood. If you don't care about Hollywood, you don't care about the culture of this country. So when you become a Premium Angel Studio Guild member at angel.com/Todd, you're going to get 2 free tickets to any of their theatrical releases. You can watch King of Kings today, this great animated feature about the life of Jesus Christ. You get to watch all their fan-curated shows, and you become part of, basically, the production staff. We get to greenlight movies together. So join me. Go to angel.com/Todd, become an Angel Studio Premium Guild member today. It's angel.com/Todd. When you gave your genetic information to 23andMe, you probably thought, well, if I think better of it, I can go and delete it at any time.
And how long does that take?
Our policies state that, we will delete their data within 30 days. And in most cases, it is automatic and happens much quickly.
So that's Mr. Joseph Selsavage. He is the CEO of 23andMe, and he's talking here to United States Senate Josh Hawley.
When you deleted it, it's deleted. It's gone forever.
All the genetic data is deleted forever, and yes.
Really? Because that's not what your privacy statement says in the fine print. Let's read it. What your statement says is, we retain personal information for as long as necessary to provide the services and fill the transactions you have requested, to comply with our legal obligations, resolve disputes, enforce agreements, et cetera, et cetera. And then it goes on, 23andMe and or our contracted genotyping laboratory will retain your genetic information even if you choose to delete your account.
Senator, 23andMe, it does not retain any genetic information regarding the consumer once they delete their account. We do.
It says right here that you will retain genetic information, including date of birth and sex, even if you choose to delete your account. This is your privacy policy. I'm just quoting from it.
Senator, to the best of my knowledge, we do not maintain any genetic information.
It says even if you choose to delete your account, we will retain your genetic information, date of birth and sex, even if you choose to delete your account.
There is some information that we do retain, such as not related to the genetic information.
Right.
But that, such as name, email address,
Oh.
and other.
So even if you delete the account, you retain their name, you retain their email address, you retain their date of birth, you retain their sex, and you retain their genetic information, even if they choose to delete your account. So in other words, don't talk to your suit behind you, talk to me.
Well done. First rule of cross-examination of a witness, never ask a question to which you do not know the answer. Black's Law. So this guy's caught. Surprised? The reason I did not give my genetic information to these guys isn't because I knew they'd hold on to it. I don't trust them to get rid of anything. It's not just because I knew it was going to be shared with the Communist Chinese Party. It's because anything that can be coded can be hacked. Anything that can be coded can be hacked. A massive database of human DNA in the hands of a malevolent entity, say the Chinese Communist Party, or maybe a country yet to come. Maybe a truly insane boss of a country yet to come. Given technical tools and knowledge and insight into human DNA of people in specific types of bodies, blood types, etc., enough of the law of big numbers and enough of number crunching and creating comps, you could create custom drugs as offensive weapons to change the human DNA, to change the genome. A massive war. I mean, we already know that patents exist to distribute so-called vaccines via mosquito. And then they're self-amplifying. So once someone is injected via mosquito, they then share this code with other people. I don't want to make this easy for them. So I'm not going to have my DNA be part of this. But we live in an era of genetic hacking. God did the original design, and God let us read the design. God has let us understand the design to a degree. To a degree. We don't get near to being as elegant a coder as God is. But we're getting near to being able to read, in fact, can read and understand our genetic code. You can now screen embryos for 900 diseases and traits, including cancer, heart disease, IQ, and Alzheimer's before they're even born. And you don't just pick a child, you rank them by longevity. And there was a science fiction novel that covered this, and this is in regard to a tweet that I'm just tracking, someone who writes a lot about this stuff. And the novel is called Red Rising, and this is how you end up with a group of elites genetically created. And when people do this, what are we going to end up with? It's not diversity. We're going to end up with a homogeneous structure of people, and everyone's the best and the brightest, and everyone's high IQ. So that certainly means we're going to have a better living experience, right? Everybody's high IQ. Everybody's type A. Everybody's tall. Everybody's classically good looking. Everyone's ripped. Everyone's athletic. Everyone has health. Everyone has longevity. No one has a need for God. Because the new heaven and the new earth, it's right here. With all of us elites living our best lives now in a way that hacked God's design. Because as we treat the least of these, so we treat Jesus. What happens when we do away with the least of these? Who's going to rise to the top then? I think it's the people who are willing to do the worst to the most. At least that's the way I see it. So you cannot delete your DNA or your genetic information from 23andMe, which means you could have it hacked one day.